All right. What's up, everybody? How are we doing today on this beautiful June 9th? It is meme number day. You would think that the challenges today would just be packed with meme-related dimensions, but I actually, I didn't go too crazy. Maybe a couple, but not too crazy. But man, how often is it that we would run into such a beautiful date happening on a Monday, 6/9/2025. And it's great to be here with all of you on this episode of Model Monday Live. I think we are on episode number 8 of season 6. And this is the only live stream you can tune into where you will be challenged to turn a 2D drawing into a 3D model as quickly as you can, to earn points for your work and to compete against some of the best 3D CAD modelers in the world, the fastest 3D CAD modelers in the world. This is where they all come together to enjoy one another's company, to hang out in the chat, and of course to challenge and test their CAD skills. Welcome one and all to this episode of Model Monday Live. It's always so good to be here with all of you. Of course, it was a very eventful weekend. We saw several qualifying matches for the World Cup next year. Some of the World Cup matches are going to be taking place relatively close to where I am out here on the East Coast. So it's not often that the World Cup takes place here in the United States. I am very excited for 2026. And we got to see some friendlies this weekend. We got to see some qualifying matches as well. And that is pretty much the biggest news that happened this weekend. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the weekend. It was beautiful outside and a beautiful weekend and a good time just to spend some time outside, get some yard work done, and get into it here, getting ourselves ready for the month of June. Of course, don't forget, it is Father's Day this month, so to all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day, and to all the sons and daughters out there, make sure that you wish your fathers a happy Father's Day when it comes up. I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of winging it here. I don't actually know what date Father's Day is this month, but I know it's coming up because on various websites, they remind you that they're having a big Father's Day sale. That's the only reason I really know it's coming up. All right, guys. Here we go. Oh, it's on Sunday. Okay, it's this upcoming Sunday. All right, there we go. All right, good. Well, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And good luck. Good luck, of course, as well. Big weekend. All right, guys, welcome one and all. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Let's get into it here today. Victor Case is glad Vicky knows. Yes, I am very glad Vicky knows as well. Thank you, Vicky. Let's get into it here. Today we are going to do some challenges for all of you, the chat, the amazing chat, and of course we are going to talk about the world of TooTallToby, the world of 3D CAD, and then we're going to do a live solve together. We're going to challenge one another and try to solve a model at the same time, see who is the fastest. So let's see here. Today is June 9th. Of course, we are done with our previous CAD vs. CAD tournament. We had our champion, Ricardo Jean. I'm sure he's in the chat here today, and it was great to see him take down the victory. If you guys haven't seen those matches yet, don't worry. We're going to have some highlight videos coming out this week of those matches. Of course, if you are here for the first time, let us know in the chat. It's always good to have some new people here in the chat, and let us know what CAD system you're using, and let us know if you have any questions about today's competition. We're going to do 2 CAD speed modeling challenges. We're going to do some updates. We'll do a live solve using Onshape. And of course, we'll hang out with the best chat ever. Eric Potter in the chat says, hi, y'all. Hi, Eric. And Vignesh is in the chat as well today. What is up, Vignesh? Great to see you in here. Of course, Aaron C. is here as well. Says, this is definitely the biggest and best live event going on YouTube right now. Yes, exactly. Exactly. That is truth, my friend. And of course, I want to say thank you to all of the members of the TooTallToby community, the subscribers, the super thankers, the joiners, the likers, the tutorial makers, the super chatters, the value for value, the Practice Models Premium subscribers, all the students out there, all the sharers, all the commenters, and the Discord crew, the most amazing Discord crew ever. Thank you all so much. Without all of you, we would not have the TooTallToby community. Today, we're going to do a live solve. Here's a little preview of what that live solve is going to look like. We're going to do that in the second half of the show. But here in the first half, we're going to challenge you to create a 3D model. So don't forget to, before we get started, to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share and reshare with some of your coworkers. And if you are in the world of SolidWorks and you want to go from zero to hero, or if you're trying to learn SolidWorks, be sure to check out TooTallToby.com/training, where we have created the zero to hero path for you to go from knowing nothing about SolidWorks to becoming a certified SolidWorks professional. And all that information is at TooTallToby.com/training. All right, let's get into it with today's first challenge for all of you, the chat. It's so great to see all of you here, and we are very excited about today's challenges. We got some really good ones today, some fun ones. Not super hard. I'm going to say not super hard today, but definitely some fun ones today. And I think that everybody's going to enjoy doing these challenges here. So let's get into it. Oops, a little quick typo there. Just wanted to fix something real quick there. Let's get into it here with today's challenges. And our first order of business is just to remind anybody who's new here how these challenges work. So what's going to happen is I'm going to show you a 2D print, and you are going to try and turn that into a 3D model. What's up, Marcin? Welcome, welcome. Says hi, all. Hello, hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us here today. You're going to try and calculate the mass of that model, and you're going to enter that mass directly in the YouTube chat for the first part of the show. And then in the second part of the show, we're going to do things a little differently. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Of course, you can use any 3D CAD package as long as you can input density and output mass. You know, one of the things that makes this channel so novel is that it is truly CAD agnostic. So any 3D CAD packages are welcome. And of course, use the specified precision when you answer so that you can get credit for your answer. The first correct answer in the chat will be declared the winner. And the materials that we use here are in inches and millimeters, and they are plain carbon steel, 1060 aluminum alloy, ABS, and red oak. You got to make sure that you've got the correct density, or else you're not going to get the answer correct when you go to calculate the mass. So make sure that you have those material densities. Maybe take a screen capture of what's on screen right now, and make sure that you have those material densities in your materials library, or at least make sure that you can run a quick custom calculation for these material densities. All right, and just a quick reminder here that we are earning points today. We can see here what the leaderboard currently looks like. So we've got Aaron C. in the lead with 15 points for 2025, but there's still a lot of challenges. I mean, there's basically 8 points up for grabs every month, 6 to 8 points up for grabs, 6 to 9 points up for grabs every month. And this means that Aaron C., although he's got an impressive lead here over Rambro's Workshop, it's really anybody's game. You could come in brand new today and you could still earn enough points to dethrone our current champion. So there's still a lot of time to earn a lot of points here on the 2025 Model Monday Live leaderboard and win the big prize, win the big prize up top. So with that, we are going to take a look at the advanced rules. This is meant to be fun and good-spirited. Occasionally, I will make mistakes. And, of course, the Ivan exploit is permitted. 2K1K is here, says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, my friend. Thanks for joining us. All right, guys. Well, with that, we are ready to get into our first challenge of this episode of Model Monday Live. So I am going to flip over to full screen. And as soon as I show this challenge, you are going to take a screen capture and you're going to attempt to model this part and then enter your answer directly in the chat. So here we go. This first CAD challenge for this episode of Model Monday Live for all of you begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? Tolerance is plus or minus 1 gram. This part is called SM mower bracket. This is a sheet metal bracket that you might see on a lawn mower or a riding mower. And we can see here that this is a sheet metal part. The default bend radius the default wall thickness is 6 millimeters. The default bend radius is 10 millimeters. And this part may be modeled as sheet metal or modeled as thin walled solid, depending on what your capabilities are and the capabilities of your 3D CAD software. There's a flat pattern view there that is for reference only, and this is in plain carbon steel with a density of 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. There's actually a little bit of a funny story behind this bracket, which I will tell you momentarily. I'm going to just take a quick sip of my drink. Delicious drink here today. We are rocking the coffee and the water today. So I had a bracket very similar to this that fell off of my mower this weekend. I found it in the yard, and I had to order a new replacement one, and that's where I ended up seeing a bracket like this as I was searching for the bracket that fell off of my mower. So the one that fell off of my mower wasn't exactly like this. Maybe we'll model that when I get the new one. It actually like corroded, and then where the bolts attach, it broke off. So it's actually now broken. And once I get a new one, I'll have a better idea of what the part's actually supposed to look like. Okay, I guess that story wasn't really that funny. Look, guys, I'm just getting warmed up here. Okay, it's still a little bit early here on the East Coast. So the jokes will get better as the live stream goes on. Welcome, Rock Crawler. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. And welcome, everyone. Welcome, one and all. All right, take a screen capture of that drawing so that you can continue working on it, because we are going to continue with today's Model Monday Live episode. I like this song. This is like a classic TooTallToby song. All right, here we go. Guys, don't forget to support the channel. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, and reshare. I know that you are currently working on your challenges, but be sure to support the channel. Victor K, the world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, already coming in with an answer. Very nice, my friend. We always say each week that the challenge on this channel is to tell one coworker about the channel. Walk up to one coworker, whisper in their ear, and tell at least one coworker about this YouTube channel, about Model Monday Live, and about what we're doing over here with the tournaments. And of course, if you want to join the party, we really do appreciate a subscription to Practice Models Premium. Practice Models Premium is a fantastic way to support the channel. You could also join the YouTube channel. You could either join at the buy me a seltzer water level or buy me a cup of coffee level. Another great way to support the channel, keep us rolling, keep us in business. And of course, you could visit us at TooTallToby.com/donate. Actually, I think that D is supposed to be lowercase. Let me fix that real quick. We love fixing things here on the fly. But you can visit us at TooTallToby.com/donate. And that is going to be a lowercase D on that one, I think. I'm sure that's right. I think I have this slide a couple other places in today's presentation, so we'll probably end up having to fix that again later. And Rambro's Workshop in the chat, the world champion of 3D CAD Speed Modeling 2024. Guys, where else can you go to compete against two former world champions? Really, it's like the current world champion and the former world champion. Here today, live with all of us competing in this CAD vs. CAD speed modeling. These guys truly are the chat pros, and it's up to all of you, the existing TooTallToby crew, the new members of the community, to try to dethrone some of these champions, these former champions. Guys, in the world of TooTallToby, the biggest news is that the Spring Open is over. We have ourselves a champion, Ricardo Jean, and that we are now moving on to the 2025 Variety Tournament, the best of the best tournament. This is a tournament where we are going to be kind of limiting the number of entries per CAD system so that we can get the highest variety from our different CAD systems in the community. I'm very excited about this tournament. We did release a video last week. We got some interesting pushback. The main pushback that we got on this video was people were saying, like, you're going to create essentially an unbalanced result here. You're going to have the people that are up top, that are like the number one, the number two seed. All the people that could potentially compete with them are going to be blocked out from competing in the tournament because you're only allowing for 2 seats of the same CAD software. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a lot of variety. We're going to see users from those other CAD systems really stepping up their game, and they're going to be bringing the heat. So I am excited to see how this one goes. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I did pin a post as a reply to that video that I made. So if you guys want to read that pinned post, I just share some of the information, some of the discussions we had internally as a team. So that you'll get a little bit more insight as to kind of what we were thinking through when it came to formulating the rules for this tournament. But I got a feeling this tournament is going to be so fun. I think it's going to be so interesting to watch, and I think we're going to see users from the other CAD systems really stepping up, bringing the heat, and I'm very excited to see what happens here. Currently, it's just Onshape on the leaderboard, locking up the number one seat, and then I think we have a second Onshape user and then a SolidWorks user in there as well. So leaderboard is open. TooTallToby.com/variety is the website to compete. Victor K in the chat says, I think it's less about who wins the competition, but more about how fun it is to watch. And Rambro's Workshop says, I agree. Yes. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And guys, as far as training goes, if you ever want some custom training with TooTallToby, you can reach out to Vicky at TooTallToby.com, and she will absolutely take care of any questions you have about training, and we can definitely sign some people up for some custom training. We see some newer people here in the chat answering the challenge. I love it. I love seeing all these new names. I love seeing all this variety. That is awesome. Guys, I do want to announce a new partnership here between Practice Models, the app, and Model Monday Live, the live stream. What we started doing over the past couple of months is we've started hosting the second half of the show on the Practice Models app. So if you're not familiar with what the Practice Models app is, you can visit us at TooTallToby.com. Once you visit us at TooTallToby.com, you can sign up for a free account, and then you can get started with free practice models. Everybody likes free. So we can get started here with some free practice models, and we can see here that we've got a library of over 184 challenges. I think there's 185 right now. And some of these challenges are free for everyone. Some of them are blocked a little bit here. Some of them are only available for people who sign up for our Practice Models Premium subscription. And some of these challenges are kind of both. Some of the challenges are blocked, meaning they're part of Practice Models Premium, but they are featured up here at the top. So you can see that some of these challenges here up at the very top, it says featured challenge practice model, compete and explore all the features of premium for free with this featured practice model. So you can see here, we've got these featured practice models up here. We've got one of them right now, the bath caddy from last week. And if I click on that challenge, we can see here that there are 47 people who have completed this model. And then there's a section here called First 42. And in this section called First 42, we can see who has completed the model since it was released. So in the case of this model, it was released last week, and we ended up having some people finish it very quickly. Actually, I have a better example of this. I think last week we ran into a little bit of a glitch because of how I posted the model. But if we look at this one here, we can see that this one has First 42. And in the first 42 here, we can see, the time since it was released here, and we can see the final time here. Whoops, this one's not showing it either. But basically what we're able to do is we're able to use that first 42 to continue to track live how fast people are completing this challenge. And so that's what we're going to be doing here on the second half of the show. Today, in just a few minutes on the second half of the show, anybody with a free account is going to be able to log into TooTallToby.com and is going to see a new challenge show up here. So right here in the featured challenge practice models, there's going to be, it's currently this challenge here. We're going to have a second challenge that's going to show up here. And once that second challenge shows up, anybody who is logged in with a free account is going to be able to compete, is going to be able to attempt to complete that second challenge. So be sure to go to TooTallToby.com. Be sure to sign up for a free account. If you haven't done so yet, consider signing up for Practice Models Premium. It's a great way to continue to kind of work on your CAD skills. But even if you don't have Practice Models Premium, you can still compete in the second half of the show here today. So the Practice Models app is just a place for you to go to practice your CAD skills, to continue to refine and improve your CAD skills. And on the Practice Models app, you can do things like complete the model and then complete the model a second time and a third time. So you can use the try again function if you've got Practice Models Premium. You can take a look at your data and analytics so you can see how fast you're getting over time as you try to complete this thing a little bit faster. You can see a record of how fast you completed it. You can see a record of what the fastest times are in the community. And you can even take a look at community videos. So some people are getting in here and speed running these models. For me, it took a total of 17 minutes to complete this model. But for MCGA, Make Katia Great Again, it only took 1 minute and 33 seconds. So that is fast. For Tan the Flan Man, here we see Tan the Flan Man, a FreeCAD user. We can see that he was able to complete it in 2 minutes and 58 seconds. And the thing is, it's not just about saying that you completed it, it's about actually showing proof. If there's not a video, there's no proof. Well, these users are actually uploading videos of themselves speed modeling this thing. You can see here Luck07. Luck07 used Onshape and finished this thing in 3 minutes and 24 seconds. That's absolutely screaming through the software, and I was only able to do it in 17 minutes. So if I watch this video, it's gonna really put me to shame here for how fast these guys are speed modeling. So check it out, TooTallToby.com, the Practice Models app, a great place for you to go to practice your CAD skills. You can filter these challenges in the Practice Models app. You can filter these challenges. So up here at the top of the list, you could say, I only want to see the challenges that I haven't completed or that I have completed. You can turn on these filters here and you could say, I only want to see challenges that have to do with sheet metal. I'm big time interested in learning more about sheet metal. So I'm going to go through here and try all the sheet metal challenges that are free. And then if I really enjoy the app, I'm going to take it a step further and actually do the sheet metal challenges for the Practice Models Premium subscription. So it's just a great way to go and practice your CAD skills and do some things that maybe you don't get to do during the day normally. You know, maybe during the day, all day, you're working with sheet metal, but you never really get to work on molded parts or machined parts. Or the other thing you can do is you can filter by challenge level. So you could say, I'm going to do all the tier 2 challenges, and then I'm going to move on and I'm going to do all the tier 3 challenges, and then I'm going to move on and do all the tier 4 challenges. So that's another way that you can use this app to kind of make sure that you're getting challenged based on your skill level before you move on from tier 2 to tier 3 to these more, as you move up the tiers, you get into these more and more complicated models. So that's the Practice Models app. If you're not familiar, now you know a little bit more about it. Definitely consider signing up for the Practice Models Premium subscription. It's a great way to support the channel, to support what we're doing here on TooTallToby, to help us kind of keep the doors open. And of course, it's a great way for you to continue practicing your CAD skills. And we see Muhammad is here today. Says, hello, I'm from Indonesia. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Great to see you in here. Thank you for joining us. So guys, we release a lot of content on the Practice Models app just to kind of see a little preview here of some of the challenges that you'll see when you sign up for the Practice Models app. Here you can see some of the other challenges, a lot of variety here, some wood parts, some molded parts, some plastic parts, some machine parts. Lukey is in the chat, says hi all. Hello Lukey, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And some more challenges here, some 3D printed parts, some, again, some machine parts. So this part here is a part used in conduit, so a round conduit box. So some real variety here from the Practice Models challenges. Definitely helps you to get your money's worth out of that app. Got over 180 models. We've got a scoreboard. We've got filters, community tutorials, speed modeling videos, and of course now we've got the first 42, all for the price of a cup of coffee. One single cup of coffee each month could pay for your Practice Models subscription. And over time, we continue to improve the app. We add new features like the featured challenge practice model is something new that we added recently. The first 42 is something new that we added recently. So we're going to continue to add new functionality here. The speed modeling and the top 3 speed modeling leaderboard here for each challenge is something new that we added. So we're going to continue adding more and more features as the months go on here. And I'm very excited for all the upcoming releases here of the Practice Models app. And Train Driver Rob in the chat says, accidentally read the 60 degree as 40 degrees. Yep, that could definitely trip you up, get you maybe potentially the wrong answer. But the nice thing about Model Monday Live is you can answer more than once. You can keep answering until you get it correct. We only look at the last answer that you submit here in the chat. Guys, of course, I want to say thank you to our developers, Bodie McBoatpants, for helping make the Practice Models app come to life. He's actually working on another new top secret update that's coming out here. And thank you so much to Hubi 3D FX for helping us with all the tables and all the analytics and really helping kind of make the website run a little bit faster. If you ever see these guys on Discord or you see them in the chat, be sure to say hello. Be sure to say thank you. These guys are really, truly working their magic. So guys, don't forget in the second half of the show, we are going to be using Practice Models and Model Monday Live together. We are going to show you a brand new challenge and we're going to challenge you to model that up on the website. So check it out and we will use the first 42 to award the point in the second half of the show. And finally, if you haven't been there, be sure to stop by our Discord. We have lots of great resources on the Discord, and the greatest resource of all is the community. If you ever get stuck on a practice model, you can ask about it in the Discord, and there will always be 2 or 3 people in there to help you out and to help answer your questions. So check out the TooTallToby Discord. All CAD users from any CAD systems are welcome there. That's it for now. Don't forget to support the channel, hit the like button, subscribe, share, and reshare. And of course, a great way to support the channel is to join the party by joining Practice Models Premium joining the YouTube channel. There's a join option on the YouTube channel, and visiting us at TooTallToby.com/donate. So that concludes the first half of the show. Let's get into our first answer, and then we will move on to the second half of the show, where we will challenge you to do one of these challenges with us here live on the TooTallToby website. So we can see here that this first challenge was a sheet metal part. I think for me, if I was trying to solve this challenge, what I would do is I would probably first decide on the origin. And I would probably put the origin right back here, right on the back side of the part, right back here on the back side of the part, and right in the center of the part, because the part has symmetry. And then once I do that, I think what I would do is I would create a simple sketch here of two lines, a line that comes over at 170/2 and a line that comes up at 75, or maybe I would make a line that comes up here at 50 and then a second line here that comes up at 25. And then I would use that geometry to perform a sheet metal thin feature extrusion with a wall thickness of 6 and a bend radius of 10. And I would just extrude half of that out to that depth of 119. And then once I've got that geometry extruded, then it's just a matter of adding some cuts, right? I might add a cut here from the top, this 30mm cut from the top here, kind of lop off that corner. And then I would add a cut over here on this side. So now this whole corner is already cut off. So then I would just add a cut over here on this side that would look something like this. Maybe I would include the hole with that cut. And once that's done, the only thing that's really left for me to do is just to draw up half of this circle, or the whole circle, and draw up this rectangle. That will give me one half of the model done and good to go. And then I can just do a mirror all and mirror that across. And hopefully that'll help me come up with the correct answer. So some of the answers that we saw coming into the chat were very impressive and were very fast, but only one answer can earn the point for this section of Model Monday Live. So let's see what those answers were. Victor K coming in with an answer, 1200. Victor K revising to 1164. Rambros Workshop 1164, and then says, good game, Victor. We'll see. We'll see if Victor got it right. Atse coming in with 1147.5. Nice. Gray coming in, 1164, seeing that number a lot here. Druv coming in here, 1164, very nice, my friend. Perigene coming in, 1164, I like it. Kate Leopold in the chat today, coming in, 1164, I like it. Train Driver Rob, 1155. Undefined Explode coming in, 1164. And let's see what else we got here. Undefined Explode said, man, that bend radius got me, nice. Rich Penn coming in, 1164. Train Driver Rob revising to 1164. Says, read the radius 60 as 40. Yep, I could see that ending up happening. And Vignesh coming in here with 1175. Very nice. And Aaron C coming in with the last answer, 1164. And guys, the correct answer is 1164 plus or minus 1 gram. But we're going to do something special today. We're going to give the point to the person with the last answer instead of the person with the first. No, just kidding. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. All right, let's go up to the top here. Let's see who got the first answer correct. 1164. It's none other than Victor K. So congratulations to Victor K. Let's put a GG in the chat. Good game, Victor K. Well done, my friend. And Victor K is going to earn the first point available today. There are 2 points available today, and it's going to be Victor K who earns that first point. Well done, my friend. If you're a member on the channel, then you'll have the special GG icon you can send over to Victor K. GG, my friend. Well done. Well done. We like it. We like it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And Aaron C says, people at work made me actually work, so I couldn't play on time. Oh, brutal. And BNS has just discovered this channel. Amazing concept. Keep it up. Thank you so much, BNS. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Last person needs all the help he can get on the leaderboard. Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly. Well, GG, Victor K. Well done, my friend. And now we are going to move on to the second half of the show. And it's in the second half of the show that we are going to challenge you to perform an F5 battle, a rebuild battle. We're going to have you guys go to TooTallToby.com. So I'm going to release the challenge right now, but it is going to take just a few moments for it to officially go live. So we're going to all head over to the practice models website, TooTallToby.com. We're going to all go into that practice models website. So here we go. Let's go into TooTallToby.com. Visit us, TooTallToby.com/practice. Sign up for a free account. And this challenge will go live in just a few moments. If we say click here or get started with free practice models, the new practice model is uploading, and we're going to see that in the featured model challenge here. And I always try to get the countdown right for this one. So here we go. This next challenge is going to begin in 3, 2, 1, go! So if you refresh the page, you should see the second featured challenge is now listed here. The challenge is now live, and it's going to be up to all of you to get in here and to attempt to solve this. And I'm going to solve this one right along with you. So good luck to everybody who is attempting to solve this here on this episode of Model Monday Live. Here we are on Model Monday Live. It is June 9th. 2025. It's so great to see everybody here in the chat on this episode of Model Monday Live. And we are now in the second half of the show. And in this second half of the show, I'm going to challenge all of you to solve a model that we just released just a few moments ago. We just released it here. And we do this every week on this live stream, Model Monday Live. So if you are watching a recording of this and you want to join us next week, just tune into the live stream, 1 p.m. East Coast. You can join us here on Model Monday Live. And on the second half of the show, we challenge the users to do a live solve right along with me. And so you're going to notice that over in the chat, over on the left, you're going to see the users maybe commenting a little bit on this challenge. But the challenge is found here at TooTallToby.com. You say, click here to get started. You sign up for a free account. And then you're going to see that we have this featured challenge practice models up here at the top of the screen. And the brand new featured challenge practice model that we just released is this one here, 250602. So today I'm going to solve this using Onshape. So I'm going to get my seed of Onshape ready here. I'm going to click here to practice. We can see that currently no one has solved this model. So we're going to try to be the first to complete this practice model. So here we go. This challenge begins in 3, 2, 1, go. So the question here is, what is the mass of this model? And we can see that the clock is counting down, and we're going to enter that mass right down here. We're going to also notice that this challenge has a title block with a material and a material density. And one of the things that I really like about the Practice Models app is that we can open in new window, and then we can just take this window and move this window around to make it a little bit easier to have our CAD system on one screen and the challenge here on another screen. So we can see here that this challenge is a machined part. We can see here that this challenge is not symmetric. There's no centerline symmetry. So when it comes to the location of the origin on a non-symmetric part, it becomes a little bit more arbitrary. Usually what you'll do is, if you know the part is going to be machined, you'll just end up putting the origin on one of the corners, because that'll make it easier for the machinist to kind of zero out their machine when they're seeing this thing. So maybe we'll put the origin here, or maybe we'll put the origin down here. I tend to kind of work from the upper left and kind of work my way down. So I'll probably end up putting the origin here on this corner. And so once you decide on where the origin is going to be, the next thing you want to decide is how your sketches are going to be constructed for this model. So I think that for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sketch that looks a little something like this. Whoops, kind of coming down at an angle here at 4 degrees. I think I'll probably create a sketch like that, and that'll be my first sketch. And then I'll take that sketch and I'll extrude that out to 60. And then I'll create a second sketch here that looks a little something like this. Maybe I'll include the hole in that second sketch, maybe not. And then I'll extrude that out to this depth here of 40 millimeters. And that's going to give me kind of the foundation of this design. The rest of the design is really just going to be some cut extrudes. So not too difficult of a model. It's tier 4. It's really right between a tier 3 and a tier 4 model. It's right on the cusp there of those two. So let's get into it here in Onshape and see how we would solve this thing. Again, all of our users here on Model Monday Live are trying to solve this at the same time. So it'll be really interesting to see if I can get this answer in before some of them. So we're going to go here to our keyboard cam. We're here in Onshape, and let's get this party started. We're going to say create a document. I'm going to call this 25-06-02, and I'll call it 4-degree block. And this is going to be a public document, so if you ever have access to Onshape, either the free version or the paid version of Onshape, you could always look this up in the public space and see what my feature tree looks like. So I'm just going to come up here real quick and go to my workspace units here from this hamburger menu and just make sure that I'm working in millimeters and grams. Very important to work in the correct units. And then I'm going to follow my game plan. Front plane, S key, begin a sketch, N key to get normal 2, S key to begin a line, and I'll single click here on the origin, move straight down, and then I will single click in the background, let go of my mouse, and type in a distance 20. Then I'm going to move my mouse down here kind of at an angle of 4 degrees. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Single click. I'm going to move my mouse up here until I'm horizontal to the origin, single click, and then I'm going to move back to the origin and single click again. And then after I single click there, I'm going to let go of my mouse and I'm going to type in 165 for the width of that block. Now, originally I said I would make that second sketch as a separate independent sketch, but really in Onshape, there's no need to do that. I could just create second sketch right here. So I could create a second sketch here. I could create a line that comes up like so. I could type in the dimension for that line 90, enter. Could create a line that comes over this way, single click, type in the dimension 106, enter, and create a line that comes down and just kind of include that geometry in this first sketch. And really, I could also create the geometry for the circle here in this first sketch. So create this circle here that has a bore of 57, and then I can create some dimensions to that circle. It doesn't mean I have to extrude all of these at the same time, but it might be smart to include this geometry here in this first sketch. So I'll create this here at a distance of 42. Now, the thing is, this dimension here, this 53 dimension, I think that it stands to reason that that's probably going to be centered on this block. So if I was a designer, I would probably want to include that dimension, include that 53 dimension in the design, but I'd probably always want it to be centered on that 106. So maybe what I could do here is I could right click on that 53 and then say change to a driven dimension. So you can see here now I can move this all around, and then I could just draw in a construction line or even a solid line here that goes from the midpoint to this point here, and then make that line vertical. So there's a little trick you can do there in Onshape. You can right click on a dimension and say change to a driven dimension. And that way, if this dimension here were to change to 120, that dimension is going to update, but it's a driven dimension because of that vertical relationship to the origin. So just a little extra trick there if you're following this Onshape tutorial. All right, final thing we need to do here with this sketch is just add in that 4 dimension. You'll notice up here that the sketch is currently under-defined, meaning it's got this little minus sign here, so something in the sketch is still loose. And we can see here that that loose thing is the angle for that 4 degrees. So S key dimension, create a dimension that goes from this line to this line, and that dimension is going to be 4 degrees. And so now that little minus sign goes away. There we go, no more minus sign. That's what we want to see. We always want to see a fully constrained sketch, a fully defined sketch in our tree. That means our sketch is going to be predictable, and that's definitely something you should always be shooting for. Get rid of those little minuses. So now I'm going to press S key extrude, and currently you can see that the whole thing is extruding. Well, if I press the space bar on my keyboard, you can see that that clears that whole extrusion. And so now I can click on this face here, and I can choose to extrude that out to a depth of 60 millimeters. So boom, there we go. That gives us that extrusion there. And then I'm going to hit the green check mark. Now I could extrude it out this way to make the next step a little bit easier, but this is a tutorial, so I am going to intentionally extrude it out this way. And what I'm referring to here is now my sketch. So here I'm going to go into the tree. I'm going to click on the little eyeball here for sketch 1. Now my sketch is not on the correct face because I need that sketch to be out here on this face. Well, what I can do is I can choose S key extrude. I can choose this region here to extrude, and then for the starting offset, I can choose entity, and then I can just choose this face here. So basically what I'm doing is I'm saying take that sketch, project it onto that front face of the model, starting offset this face up here, and now you can see that I can do my extrusion. Let's do a reverse direction, and that extrusion is going to go to a depth here of 40, enter, and that's going to be an add in Onshape. We're going to add that geometry to the block there in Onshape on that front face. So now I can hit the green check mark, and boom, there we go. Now, if I wanted to separate those features, like maybe this one would be the, I'll call this one 4 degree base, and then this one is going to be the upper block. So I'm using Shift N to do that rename. Sometimes what I like to do is have each feature be explicit. So I could double click here on this upper block, and then I could choose to also extrude that circular region. So there's that upper block. And then I could once again do an extrusion. So here I could just go S key extrude, and then I could pick this circular region, and I could say I want that to be a remove through all, and then I'll reverse the direction of that, reverse direction, and there we go. And the reason you might do that would be for configurations. So now if I go over to the tree here and I do Shift N, I could have a configuration where the bore in upper block is turned on, meaning unsuppressed, and then I could have a different configuration where that is suppressed. So you can turn features on and off temporarily in different configurations, and that's usually the motivation for creating an explicit feature rather than just including everything in one single feature. So just something to think about as you're getting deeper and deeper into the world of 3D CAD. So now I can hide this sketch 1. I don't need that sketch 1 anymore. And now I'm ready just to go through and add in those final cuts. So I'll start here on this face, S key, begin a sketch, N key to get normal 2, S key, I'll create a line here, and then maybe I'll do an S key and drop a point here at the center of that line, because I want to define the location of that slot to the center of the slot at a distance of 25, and then the location of that slot from this edge of the part to the slot at 30 millimeters. And then I can hit escape, I can click on that line, and then I can choose this flyout menu for offset, and I can choose slot. So once we choose that option for offset slot, there you see we're able to take that geometry and turn it into a slot. I'm gonna double click here on this diameter 20 and change that to 25 and enter. And if you like the slot command in Onshape, be sure to hit the like button on this video. And so now the final thing I need to do is just define the length of that slot. So S key dimension, and that's gonna go from this arc to this arc. That gives me the tangent in Onshape, and that is gonna be 30 millimeters. And so S key, extrude, remove, through all, enter, whoops, enter or green check mark. And then I'm gonna rename that one, so Shift N, that'll be called slot through. And then finally, these holes up top here, or almost finally, S key, begin a sketch, N key to get normal 2, S key. Here what we could do is we could use the little trick of creating lines instead of dimensions. So I could begin a line command here, single click, move my mouse up in this direction, single click, and then type in the distance here of 16, enter, move my mouse over in this direction, single click, type in the distance of 21, enter, move my mouse over in this direction, single click, type in the distance here of 64 for the hole spacing. So instead of going through and adding dimensions, you could do it with a series of lines and then S key circle, and we could single click on this point here, drop in a circle, and then single click on this point here, drop in a circle, and type in a dimension of 14, enter, and then hit escape, pick the one circle, pick the other circle, and then press E on your keyboard for equal. And boom, there you go, you've got those 2 circles. And what you learn when you practice a lot, when you use the Practice Models app, or you just do a lot of practice, is you learn that you can then do S key extrude, and then you could say remove and through all, and you see the Onshape is just ignoring those lines. So we're getting exactly what we want. Now, how do we know that we're getting exactly what we want? We just practice. Just practice, and then you realize, hey, Onshape doesn't even care that there's a line ripping through the sketch here. It just kind of takes the circles and gives me exactly what I want. So it's perfect. It's a perfect application for those lines as dimensions. So we hit the green check mark, and there we go. We've got those holes running through that part. And so we could call this one 2 mounting holes, something like that, or just mounting holes. Shift N to rename there in the tree. Always good to rename your features. And then finally, we're going to be adding in some fillets here. So this is a little trick that I did with the fillets that's kind of interesting. I could go in here to do my fillets, and I could do S key fillet, and then I can right click on this edge here, and from the right click, I could choose select, and then select parallel edges. Now, what's interesting here is that it goes around and it gets most of the edges that I want, but it also gets these edges down here inside of the slot. Now, the question is, does that matter? Does it matter that I get those edges? So let's find out here. So let's change our radius for those fillets. So it looks like that radius is radius 12, 5 places. So radius 12 here, and then 5 places. So I don't need this edge here. That edge can be cut straight, and I don't need this edge here. That edge can be cut straight as well. But you can see that I have an additional 4 edges selected here. So there's a total of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 edges that are selected because it's getting these vertical edges here as well. But if I hit the green check mark, I still get what I want. I mean, these edges are vertical, but they're already tangent to another face. So does it really matter that those edges are part of that fillet? I don't know. I don't think it really does. I could see it maybe coming up later. It's a little bit sloppy for me anyway. It's a little bit sloppy. I don't really like having those extra edges on there. So if it was me, I would probably go through and actually get rid of those, hit the X here and get rid of those 4 so that I only have those 5 edges. It also makes it a little easier to count when there's only the 5 in there. But I just thought that was interesting as I was going through. And it's a good reminder that when you jump into the fillet command, there's a multi-selection tool that is available. It's pretty useful. So S key fillet, right click here, and then you could say select, and then you could say parallel edges. There's also an entire section here for create selections where you can really get into some deep tools that you can use to define what your selectioning tools are. So there are some pretty cool additional capabilities here when you're doing selections in Onshape, but we'll save that for another tips and tricks video. So that gives me those 12mm fillets, and then the only thing I need is for the toolpath. You know, when you're machining a part like this, you're gonna have some type of a tool that's gonna come in either from this side or from the top, and that tool is it's probably not gonna have a straight bottom. It's probably gonna be a rounded end mill that you're gonna end up with there. So that rounded end mill is why we end up with those radii in the corner there. You're gonna end up with a radius here from that rounded end mill. So if we go in here and we go to our fillet command, S key fillet, we're going to emulate that just by ripping a fillet here around this bottom edge of the part. So that fillet is going to have a radius of 6, enter, and there we go. We can press the letter P to hide our planes. So now we've got our planes hidden. We can do what's called the final spin, kind of look at this thing from the top and from the bottom and kind of all over here looking at this thing. And then finally, we can maybe change the color of some of these things. So we could go down here to the name of the part. We could right click and we could say, first of all, we could say rename. It's going to make it useful when you're going to add that part into an assembly studio, or an assembly mode. So we're going to rename that to 4-degree block. Or angled block might be a good name for that too, in case the 4 degrees changes. And then we're gonna go to that part name again, right click, we could say edit appearance. And if we say edit appearance here, we could change this to kind of match the appearance of the part in the from the customer. Customers always like it when you do this, when you try to match the appearance to what they gave you for their physical parts. And then finally, we can right click on the name of that part again. And from the right click here, we could say assign material. And this material is going to come from the TooTallToby library of materials. So we do have a video on this. I'll include a link to that video down in the description. But this material is going to be 1060 aluminum alloy, and we hit the green check mark. And then down here in the corner, we've got the option to measure the mass of this part in Onshape. So we're going to measure the mass of this part in Onshape. We're going to click on this part here, 1291.5 grams, 1291.5. If you click on it, you see you can expand it out and even get more details about it. But 1291.5, let's see if that works for our challenge here. So we go back into the challenge here, and once we go back into the challenge, we're going to type in 1291.5 and enter. And oh yeah, we did it. We got it correct. Anytime you see that purple box that shows up, that's always a good sign. That means that you did it correct. So congratulations to us. We did it. And the correct answer, 1291.5, was within tolerance. We did it in 15 minutes and 27 seconds. So what do you think? Did anybody out there watching in the chat do it any faster? Let's submit this so that we get 1 point on the community scoreboard. And let's go down and take a look. Oh, look at this. 8 people have completed this challenge. Very nice. 8 people have completed this challenge. So we go down here to our first 42 board, and we can see here that our first person to finish this challenge was none other than CSWE Victor. Victor K, the world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling, coming in today with a clean sweep on the Model Monday Live points. He does earn the point here for finishing this model in a mere 4 minutes and 32 seconds using Onshape. Wow, Victor K, what is the secret? That is fast. Good job, my friend. And we see Gray here came in using SolidWorks, 5 minutes and 47 seconds. Very nice. And Rambro's Workshop coming in here using Fusion 360 from India, was able to finish this challenge in 6 minutes and 40 seconds from the time it was released. We have P. Kieran's coming in here, 8 minutes and 38 seconds. Well done. And we see here Aaron C., 8 minutes and 54 seconds. Now, this isn't necessarily the time that it took them to finish it. This is just the time from when the model was released. We released the model here at about 1:30 p.m. And this is when these runners finished that model. And of course, we see also down here, we've got the CAD Queen. I think that's Kate, right? The CAD Queen here, Leopold 340, finished it in 9 minutes and 4 seconds. Very nicely done. And Undefined, using Onshape, very nicely done. And Undefined Explode here, 12 minutes, 54 seconds. Very nice. And then Nikola Tesla, bringing up the rear. That's my account, 17 minutes and 42 seconds. So that is the first 42 for that challenge. You'll notice here that the top 100 might reflect slightly different times because the top 100 is based on when you click the start button to when you click the finish button, and that time can be improved. You know, Gray could come back in here now and try to run the model again, and then Gray could actually get a faster time than Victor K, so he would move up on the top 100 board. But the first 42 is immutable. Once you solve it from the time it's released, that's it. So Victor K will always be at the top of that first 42 leaderboard. So congratulations to Victor K. Well done, my friend. And the question here that everybody's wondering in the chat is, what do you need to do to beat Aaron C? We see that Aaron C is down here in 5th. Victor K was in 1st. What do we need to do here to beat Aaron C in these challenges? And the answer in the chat is the secret is bribing Aaron C's coworkers to distract him. Yes, that is an excellent secret there to take those points away from Aaron C. But congratulations to everyone. Of course, now that I've got the solve complete here, I can go into data and analytics, and then I can go down here into my tutorials, and I can post a tutorial. This is something that's a little bit newer here in the Practice Models app, but I can post a tutorial here. I can specify what CAD system I'm using, what language I'm using, and then I can include a link here directly to the YouTube tutorial. So if there's anybody out there who's into creating CAD tutorials, we've got a whole library for you to create CAD tutorials, and then you can post your tutorial right here, and then it'll show up here on the first tab in community videos. So here under community tutorials, that's where those tutorials will show up when you post them in your data and analytics. So that's it for our second challenge here today. I want to, of course, thank everyone for competing, and huge GG to none other than Victor K. Victor K, who got that one correct. Got both of them correct today, right? Victor K, well done, my friend. Well done. Guys, put a GG in the chat for Victor K. Well done. And don't forget, before you leave today, to support the channel, to like and subscribe, to share and to reshare, and of course, to join the party. You can sign up for Practice Models Premium if you like what we're doing here. It's a great way to support the channel. You can join the YouTube channel. That's another way to support. And of course, you can visit us at TooTallToby.com/donate. And that's another way that you can support the channel and help us keep this train rolling. Most of our funding comes from the users, from the community, from people signing up on one of these 3 methods. So we really appreciate all of the users out there, all the community members who have supported us and who continue to support us. It really makes a big difference. And so that's it for our second challenge. 1291.5 was the correct answer for that 4-degree block. Congratulations to our winners, or to our winner today, Victor K, sweeping. Well done, and congratulations. And thank you, of course, to all of you out there, the most amazing chat ever. We couldn't have these awesome live streams without all of you. And I hope that you will come back and join us next week, Monday, July 16th, for the next Model Monday Live. Listen, between now and then, you can visit us at TooTallToby.com, go to tournaments, go to the Variety CAD tournament, so TooTallToby.com/variety. And we've got more challenges here. You can say, click here for the Summer Open Tournament drawings. And we've got these 1, 2, 3 challenges for you. So if you're ever looking for some additional challenges, those are some good ones. You can try to model them. You can, when you go to take the challenge, you can say compete, and you can model these against the clock and see how quickly you can finish Model 1, finish Model 2, finish Model 3, and then get your time there on the leaderboard. So check it out. It's a really fun exercise. It's a great way to continue to refine your skills as a CAD speed modeler. And guys, I just want to say thank you all so much. Thanks for joining us this week. We will be back next week on June 16th. So I'll look forward to seeing everyone. But I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the weather. I think it's going to be some beautiful weather this week. Enjoy your CAD speed modeling. Enjoy your Father's Day this weekend, apparently. This weekend. So enjoy your Father's Day. And I will look forward to seeing everyone in the next episode of Model Monday Live. See you, everybody.